Hello and welcome to Six Sugars Please, episode 1, I guess.
Diabetes in a
this
cup.
is something we're going to do every 4th episode of 3 Sugars Please, which is a 6 Sugars Please episode with every member of Charodos in it. This week,
Wow.
we're missing Scott, and Dan will be here shortly.
So it's four.
Nice.
It's more like 4 Sugars Please right now. But, anyway, this is what we're going to do monthly.
For the
Anyway.
record, we fully believe that 4 sugars is more than acceptable amount levels of sugar in
That's
your tea.
way
Any
too
more, and
much.
you will be...
Diabetic.
4 is too much even for me. Anyway.
Okay, yeah.
So we're back. Luke is back. Don't worry. Max is
Yay.
also here this week.
everybody
Harry's also
knows
here this week, and
they
I'm
only
also
come
here
today.
this
As per
week.
usual.
Even though I kind of have to be here.
In fact, we should
as a
record an episode of this without
prerequisite.
Kyle and see how good it goes.
Terrible.
Probably better than usual.
What?
Yeah, well,
Let
I'm
me
not
know
actually
what
like...
That didn't make any sense.
I'm not a useful asset to Charodos.
No.
Kyle is.
Um,
Unless you just say that about
I
yourself.
wouldn't say you're not a useful asset. I'd say you're a great asset for content.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for content. Yeah, not friendship or anything. For content. That's all he cares about.
Well,
is
no,
his content.
no, you said towards Charodos. But yeah, no, I agree with you. No, I'm joking.
Charodos is about fun.
Anyway. So, shut up now. We're gonna do the.
Okay. yes,
Anyway. So, when I was thinking about the podcast last week, right, I remembered something that had been stored in the deep recesses of my mind for
I thought you were going to say
years.
something else there.
And it was it was a very interesting story that I bet Harry is glad I'm going to tell everybody. So I think we were all there. Were we all there? I think so. Harry?
Depends what we're talking about.
Okay, you don't know yet. Right, but I have told you about me talking about this. Anyway, so basically, we went to town one time. This was like a couple of years ago. Hey, was everybody here?
It was me, Scott. Yeah, it was all of us.
Okay, so we went to town. This was like 2017. This was a long time ago, right? So we go in. What we usually do is we go to like Mcdonald's or whatever and get some McDonald's. And so we go in and we have to wait 40 minutes for our food, which is ridiculous. Because it's meant to be fast food and we're in McDonald's, right? So you don't expect like a 40-minute wait for like McDonald's, right? And Harry's gone to the toilet at the start of the 40 minutes. We get our food 40 minutes later and there is no sign of Harry.
Like how you realised 40 minutes later.
So, no, I think I'd said it a few times, but we don't particularly want to go after you. So
No, we're not your mother.
when we got to the 40-minute mark, we were like, well, we better go and check on him and make sure he's not dead. And so we go into the toilets and we're like, Harry, are you there? And we just hear from the stall, there's no toilet paper, guys. And then we were like,
I don't think that's how it was.
so I can't remember the exact exchange, but I said there's no toilet paper, and we were like, oh dear, and so we go out of the toilet and there's like a toilet cleaning woman outside, and then I go, yeah, could you please help us? There's no toilet in the men's toilet. And then she looks at me like, what the hell are you talking about? And then Scott is like, there's no toilet paper in the men's toilet. And then I was like, oh yeah, I did forget the second word in that sentence. That probably would have been helpful. Did she give you the toilet paper, Harry? Did she slide it under the door?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's a horribly awkward interaction.
Yeah, just a bit.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, it's wonderful time here. This is
It's
a
a
wonderful
woman.
toilet. I'd rate it as solidly. You can call a woman mate.
Can you? Since when do you call a woman mate?
I don't know.
Since always.
When you
Since
want to
always.
mate with them.
Exactly. There you are. Thanks, Harry. Thanks,
Okay.
Harry. Your mate.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the same time we went to town. I don't know if it was Harry or Max.
Oh, Kyle died.
Hello? Okay. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it's the same time we went to town. I don't know if it was Harry or Max, but we were going up and down some escalators, right? And whoever it was just disappeared without any... Nobody knew where they went.
It's the snitchity snatcher.
And we were like, where the hell has he gone? Is he okay? And then whoever it was either you or Max, I can't remember. They came back and they were just like, oh yeah, I was just I just walked around the other side of the escalator. And we were like, well, why'd you do that? And it's like, I don't know. And then we would go. I don't know why we were going up and down the escalators, but we were doing it some more. And then he disappeared again, and we were like,
Yeah.
what, is he okay? And then like 10 minutes later, after we're like trying to phone him and everything to make sure he's not just being kidnapped or something, he turns up and we go, where the hell did you go? And he goes, I went to the toilet. And I was like, well, why didn't you tell any of us that you were going to go to the toilet? You just silently slipped away to go to
Wait,
the
who was
loo.
this?
None of us had any idea where you are. It was either you or Harry, I can't remember.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
I remember Kyle complaining about it. I don't think I was there, but I remember Kyle complaining about this. Like,
I
years
don't know
ago.
what the
Why is
hell.
it just me? Why is everything me?
Clearly you did a lot of stuff. I do remember when we went to
I mean,
McDonald's
there have
and-
been
Sorry,
worse
yes,
people have done, to be
Worse people have done. Well, yeah, you are right. Yeah, no, do you remember that time we went to McDonald's and I asked for a Big Mac with bacon? And she asked
Oh,
me what
yeah.
was it plain? And I imagine that meant no, like, extra sauce on it or anything. And then I get my burger and I open it up and it's a
Just
patty
bacon.
in a bun. There is no bacon on the Big Mac with bacon. She has given me nothing. She has given me... Oh, no. I
funny.
discredit her. She gave me 2 patties, actually, because that's actually what is in the Big Mac. But with no bacon, no lettuce, no mayo or anything. Apparently that's what plain means. Without the thing that I'm buying. Well, I would have just said a Big Mac and then with nothing in it. Honestly, I was... God, that was very annoying. And then Liam had eaten all my chips when I walked upstairs.
Oh yeah, I was there.
That's wonderful.
Oh, that was,
like, I'm
that
not
was,
going to-
that was,
I'm so glad that
that
I
was
just missed
the
half
geography
of... Yeah, Harry
trip.
wasn't there.
Oh, I remember that. Yes.
And I was just like, oh, that's great. Thanks for eating nearly all of my chips. And
I
I
only
have
had, like,
nothing in my
3.
burger either. That's fine. Well, you could have asked when I came upstairs. I was pissed about
Did you
that.
talk to the woman?
No, because the queue was like 16 hours long, so...
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So I
You ate your
sat
bread.
there and I ate my 2 patties and a bun.
And he sulked for the
Oh,
rest
Oh yeah, you
of
were
the
so
trip home.
depressed.
I was
You were
angry.
so depressed.
I was not happy. I just
It was
got
funny,
it.
though.
I
It
just
was
got
funny.
absolutely nothing in my burger and
It
come
was
back
so
to no
good.
chips. Like
Yeah.
like 4 chips. He's not in a good mood.
Yeah, Liam was like, "Oh yeah, do you want some chips?" I was like, "No thanks, man." And he was like, "I was like, aren't they Kyle's?" He's like, "Yeah."
It's a
I
massive
was like, "Okay."
asshole. I would have given
Hey, I didn't
him some
take any,
chips
okay?
If he'd asked me, not you. I'm talking about Liam.
I did. I took a few.
I didn't take any, but I wasn't there. So.
Because you weren't there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
God's sake. Yeah,
Oh,
I was
this is-
yeah, very annoyed about that.
Can't see why you would be.
It's not like you basically paid for a piece
A
of meat
burger and
in
chips.
2 pieces of bread.
I got
In
two.
fairness, that is the definition of a
so-
burger.
So I paid for a bun, 2
Shut up.
patties, lettuce, mayo, and bacon, and a box of chips, and got 2 buns, 2 patties, and 4 chips. So I think that was a great trip to McDonald's, and one of its
That's a
ranked
brilliant-
highly, just slightly under the one where Harry was stuck in the toilet. I did enjoy that one slightly more.
That one was, real funny.
To be honest, I enjoyed it because it was a horrible time for somebody other than me.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah, you can't enjoy it if it's bad for you. Can I bet you didn't enjoy it, Harry.
That was fun.
You enjoyed being stuck in the toilet for 40
I'll
minutes.
tell you what, I was.
Did you not have any means of contacting anyone? Why didn't you check before you went to the toilet? Didn't you check for toilet paper?
Well,
No, not really.
Harry's
Well,
learned his lesson
do you
now.
check? Have
Harry
you learned your
always
lesson
checks
and
now.
check now?
You know.
Harry,
ritual.
go to your bathroom right now and check for toilet paper.
There is toilet paper. I know there's toilet paper.
Why did you eat the toilet
I
paper
also know
earlier?
there's toilet paper
Because
there.
my maid puts it there for me every day.
Yeah, you gotta check, because otherwise you're gonna be stuck in the toilet for 40 minutes. Have to call your friends in.
Yeah, don't worry, Harry.
There's
There's
no
definitely toilet paper there.
What? That's really concerning.
What? Harry has toilet paper in his toilet.
No, that Max
How
knows.
dare he!
Yeah. So that was a
This
fun
spawn of
experience.
Satan has toilet paper
Who
where the
doesn't love
toilet
McDonald's?
paper should be. I'll tell you, right, I got a McDonald's story. So,
Right.
I was in
Shoot.
town, okay?
Okay.
I know. And I walked into the McDonald's, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to have a really, really nice chicken burger, because I never had a chicken burger before at that point. And, I was like, I'm going to try it. And I'm going to get one of the Christmas McFlurries as well, because they're really nice. And as soon as I finish ordering on the little machine thing, and I try and remember my PIN so I don't, die when I get to the checkout till and forget everything and then it implode or something, because that's something that I do. I look around. I'm just waiting there for my number to be called on the screen, and suddenly, two. I don't know how to describe. Unpleasant women. Okay.
What does that mean? Unpleasant women. Two unsavory characters walked
Yes,
into the
two
McDonald's.
unsavory characters walked
Ruined my
into a
day.
McDonald's, and one of them gets this random kid's McFlurry, this poor kid's McFlurry, picks it up and chucks it, like full on rugby throws it. At this
Where?
other,
What, across
at this
the-
other unsavory woman's face.
What? Like she just got some random person's McFlurry and covered the other one in it.
I'm not even joking. They literally just.
Could you
I
describe
don't-
the
I
physical
would punch
appearance
someone
of
if they
these
took
two
my
women?
McFlurry.
Okay, so they had puffer jackets. Let's just say that, and pouches that
How
probably contained a weed and a shank. Let's be real.
What-
I'd say
Let's be
between.
real. Describe what was their build like?
What was their bills?
Yeah, build.
I
Not
don't know.
bill, because I imagine they didn't pay for anything. Or they
I don't think they
Well-
did actually. There was one very, very angry staff worker who I didn't actually work
Yeah.
out. Oh,
Yeah,
are they,
what
are
was
they
their
management?
what was
I
their
don't know.
build like? How would you describe them?
One of them was incredibly overweight.
Is
Nice.
that your description of build?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the other one?
Also,
So rather than
The
saying
same-
two overweight, you just said
The
one
same
was
physique.
overweight and
You're
the
describing
other one
Pretty
was
American
overweight.
people.
huh?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
fun. Yeah, right. Is that the end of it? Is that all that happened?
No, because then
Oh dear.
the manager had a go at them. Okay.
Right.
Outside the McDonald's. At this point,
he
I'm
dead
like,
now?
probably my food's probably burning, sitting at the counter. It's gonna go in the bin in a
You
minute.
know the manager
However,
isn't the one.
I
that-
am not
Wait,
missing this.
they
Okay, that's
weren't
what's going-
employees, were they?
So I make my way to the very back of the McDonald's, and I just basically listen in. I have a little crow in at what's happening, and the McDonald's manager had the highest pitched voice I have ever heard in
Oh, I thought you
somebody.
were gonna say he was trying to solicit them for sex.
No. Why would I say that? I mean,
that's
why
what
would
he
I
was
say-
doing. I didn't assume that's just something you'd say.
That is something I'd say.
That's something I
Right.
say. Anyway.
And she's like, "But you didn't pay for it."
What, is it a woman? Like the manager was a woman?
No, it was a man.
Oh.
No, it is a woman, and
Sorry, that's really sexist of me that I assume the manager's a woman, isn't a man even. Apologies.
no, it was a woman. So
Okay, I'm just a massive misogynist.
so this
I'm sorry.
woman slash, I don't know what,
Manager, chipmunk,
air raid siren maybe.
chipmunk.
It's air raid siren.
Yeah, this person slash air raid siren, I started having a go at these two guys, and oh my god, it was. I'm surprised that they didn't just like knock her over and run away. They literally stood there and kind of like heard her out, heard her side of the story.
Get out of my McDonald's, bitch!
I want to say, I just realized I said guys, they're women. The two unsavory.
So you
women.
can't call women guys, but you can call women mates. What? Your logic is broken beyond repair. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
Continuity is not my top thing, okay?
Isn't Luca's forte?
Yeah.
Continuity. Anyway, sorry. Keep going.
So, oh god, where was I? I lost my place.
Talking about them hearing the fat woman out.
Oh yeah. So the fattest of the women decides that they want to answer back. Okay.
Ooh,
And
that's not
it
happening. She's getting
literally
kicked in
is
the
like I
women's
can't
spot.
remember what's that piece of music called. Anyway, it's literally a call and response between the highest possible voice in the world for a woman and the lowest possible voice in the world for a woman. So it's like, oh, you stole my McDonald's! Oh, you stole my McDonald's! Oh, you stole my McDonald's! Doesn't help that the other person's completely run off now, and then just because, why not? The woman's boyfriend decides that he wants to join in with the argument as well.
Ooh, now
I say
this is
boyfriend.
saucy.
Could have been 50-50. I'm not too sure.
What do you mean?
He had a beard, I
Wait,
think.
what do you mean by 50-50?
I'm not entirely sure.
What did you say, Harry? I missed that.
He's King's Mill 50-50.
Ah,
I'm not
I see, right,
entirely
okay.
sure if he was he or if he was she.
Let's just assume gender, because that's what we're meant to do, right? Isn't it?
It's 20.
Okay, so-
It's 2020, guys. You can't assume.
Now
it's
we
gender.
have three characters in the mix, you know, like world's worst
It seems like a
smoothie.
mess.
Yeah, like world's worst smoothie. You have the two
That
unsavory
sounds like a
women
really bad joke.
and the two savory. I don't know.
An unsavory woman
And
a
two
trans
unsavory
man,
women.
and the highest pitched woman in the world walk into
Basically,
McDonald's.
to sum it up, it was awful, but so brilliant at the same time. And 10 out of 10 would
What's the
recommend.
resolution?
The resolution I didn't really stick around for because
You ran before.
Nice.
because
Before fists
my
were
order
flung.
was being shouted at by a very tall.
Another fat woman.
No, it was a very tall
They weren't
Scottish
employees,
man
Max.
who was bald, and I was worried that he would reduce me to ashes if I didn't like
You scared
take
of
my
Scottish
order.
people.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, do you remember when we went to McDonald's that time for your
Ow.
birthday?
What?
Do you remember when we went to McDonald's that time for your birthday? Like
Was it the
ages
go on
ago.
the little kid that tried to pick a fight with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember
I remember that was
what
pretty
happened?
funny. Oh really? I just remember there was a little kid trying to pick a fight with Ben Pike.
I can't remember what happened. I think we
No.
went in and then this kid just got really angry at Ben for some unknown reason, and just just tried to fight him. It's good. Good. Just McDonald's is just a place for so much weirdness
Mm.
and also food.
And also food, yeah, okay.
Well, it's not wrong, is it?
Should we talk about yesterday then?
We've all had our experiences.
Actually, no.
at
I have
McDonald's.
another.
Yes, I'd
I
love-
do have another
Don't worry,
McDonald's
Luke's got
story.
another Mcstory, so
Mm.
let him
Okay.
finish his Mcstory.
Want to talk?
Go on, Luca.
So
Share
I was
with
on
us your
the I was
McStory.
on the way to Alton Towers
God.
with Luke. Okay, and
That's right.
we've got a big drive. So we decide, you know what? About halfway through the drive, we decide, you know what? We're all a bit hungry. Let's go to McDonald's. Let's go grab McDo, and
Actually die.
um, and so, oh, we go to this McDonald's, and it's all rather lovely. It's quite a new one. However, it does overlook a disused nuclear power plant, which
Oh,
is
lovely.
Perfect.
quite
Romantic
interesting. Yeah, and
Because we
these
all know that's in Alton Towers, just next
these
to
lovely
Chernobyl.
teenage boys walk in,
And-
and already I'm literally sipping my straw, going, "Ooh, this is gonna be trouble!" And
Is that what you do?
That's what
yeah. That's
Right.
exactly what I do with that particular voice in my head and
They
everything.
hear you say that.
No, otherwise I would have been shanked.
I see.
I've
Yeah.
Trouble.
uh, so, I'm already going to my mum, nudging her and like, look at this. This is something's gonna go down. Something's gonna go down here. Quickly get the camera.
You've been
And,
framed.
Did you just make a mum get the camera reference?
yeah.
I hate you.
So these boys they order their
These boys.
they order their meals, and then they sit down, head to toe coated in the cheapest Nike products in the store, and
You just shame them for having cheap Nike products.
absolutely
Is that where your priorities lie? You think?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
Alright, fine. Well,
Hashtag Adidas supremacy.
let's not start that conversation with me. 'cause that will
Hashtag
end
I
well.
don't care.
No,
I agree.
I don't think me and Carl really have a sense of style as such when it comes to clothing.
I know I have a sense of style.
it's just
Christ.
rubbish.
My name rhymes with style. Style's my middle name.
What vile?
Kyle Style Mace. That's my
Oh,
legal
brilliant.
full name.
That's
No, but brands,
very
stuff
sad.
to do with brands is never something that has ever been.
No, brands are not
something I've
my-
cared about. Also,
But-
I don't shop for my own clothes.
This man had well, I
I
won't
just
call
get
them men.
given
These
clothes. so I'm like,
boys
okay, cool.
had like the the Gucci watch. You know,
Sorry.
First of all, what's
you good there? It's just knockoff Gucci. Okay, so they had all their
Is
their
it wrong that I actually
their-
don't know what Gucci is?
it's a
Handbags.
it's a clothing
Among
brand,
other
but
things.
they had
The
fake
only reason
Gucci
I know
watches.
that
They
is
had
'cause my
they had
mum-
the Brolex, as I'm gonna call it, and I can't think of any other watch brands.
Do you know what? People, I think buying expensive watches is retarded.
Yeah.
So-
Which is old.
That's my POV.
What is it?
Anyway, they
Dora.
What, Harry?
It doesn't matter. I don't know.
but basically these boys are wearing like the cheapest roadmanist outfits that you can find. It's not even like
Okay.
the good kind of roadman, it's just the cheap ones.
There's a
What's
good
the good
Um,
kind of road, man?
Not really. So these boys, they start having a go at this
These
McDonald's
boys.
lady
Oh, no,
because
don't
one
give
of
the
them-
McDonald's people a hard time. They give us the food.
because one of them
They give us
has
the
more-
food for no money at all.
Kyle, because one of them has more chips than the other.
Oh,
And they're like, "Oh no, man, you better listen here, fam. Okay, Like,
Slap you round the
Jamaican
face with this
accent.
shit. I'm gonna smack you up.
yeah, I'm gonna smack you up, fam, because you give me not a lot of chips, and this other brother here,
Never
yeah,
in
he got some
history
chips,
has a man
fam.
with a pipe in his mouth said, "I'm gonna smack you up," and I have a pipe in my mouth right now, and I just said that.
Kyle
is-
doesn't smoke. He is.
I just made history.
It's a pipe that blows bubbles. Just
No,
so.
it's actually a real pipe, but
Oh, is it?
I use
blow
it to blow
bubbles.
bubbles. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can't just order a pipe that blows bubbles. You just order a real pipe and then put bubbles in the end. Should I put some bubbles in? I kind of like blowing bubbles in my
Okay.
pipe. I'm gonna go do that. Keep going.
Okay, so
I'm gonna go fill up my pipe.
these boys start by kicking off, and you know it's rather rude, and it's a disturbance for everybody else. And so the lady's like, "No, get out of here." In all fairness, it is quite rude, the way her tone, but I think it's understandable considering that these boys are probably a menace to society. So these boys start having a go at her, and long story short, it ends up with chips everywhere, and me feeling really sad that some people actually have to work at McDonald's, and on top of working at McDonald's, they have to deal with customers like these. Now, the lady does tell the boys to get out, and I think the general thing is that we
They have
spoke
to
to her
get out?
afterwards, and she was like, "Oh no, they come in every single week and they do the same thing. They always
kidding me?
complain about the chips."
You not bar them from the McDonald's.
They said they have.
Well, security.
Who's gonna hire security for a McDonald's?
Watch me.
I'll
Oh,
just
they can hire me. I'll do it.
What? And you and your bubble blowing pipe are gonna stop chavs with a shank?
Watch me. I'll kick their asses. With my
Sorry,
superior
detective.
intellectual skills.
Sorry, Detective Holmes. I'll leave you to it.
Holmes?
Yeah.
Is that how you say Holmes?
Yes.
Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, keep going.
No, you know what? We've opened that discussion now, Kyle.
What?
Pronunciation.
You want that? Oh dear. Let's not get into pronunciation. Cause
Do you
that ain't
guys
gonna end
pronounce
well for
it
you,
bread
son.
or breed?
Well, to be fair, inbred and inbreed are basically the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a fair point. Right. I think on that thing we'll.
Ended that discussion quickly.
Yeah.
What are you going to
we'll
talk
move
about
on
yesterday
from the
then?
McDonald's. Yeah, you can talk about yesterday. I will have put in this because I'm not really
Harry?
too sure what happened.
Well, I mean, you can comment on it.
Yes.
You were involved in yesterday, actually. Hey, go on. take
How
the
Max
floor,
got
Harry.
mud on my chair.
Did he actually?
Yeah, there's now mud on my chair.
Hey, the floor is yours.
What?
Come on, talk about yesterday. You twonk. Harry?
Well, I'll be forced to talk about today, and
Sorry,
that's.
You being difficult? Oh, I've just poured.
Shouldn't
I've
Max
just
talk
poured
about
bubbles
yesterday?
all over my.
Oh, actually,
Max is
Well,
the
Max, you and me, and Luca as well.
one. Okay.
Ca-
So, shut up, Luca. It's my time to shine.
okay.
So basically, yesterday, me, Kyle, and Max decided we'd go out for a little
And
bicycle
then Max and
ride,
Harry decided they were going to go out
and
cycling,
then
and
we
I
forced
was,
Kyle to go out
and
with
it was
us.
awful.
Then Kyle was very sad about it.
I was,
Anyway,
yeah.
and yeah, so we went to this area where we could go try doing jump.
Yeah.
Me being a pro, obviously could do some. Kyle being Kyle couldn't.
Harry
do
isn't
some.
making this out of thin air. For the record, Harry does do semi-professional cycling. That's his one, like, good attribute.
Define. I
One
say this is
good
one
action.
defining trait.
No, Harry has many qualities other than looking good in lycra.
Can you guys hear that? I don't ever want to hear that again. That's what Max
Max is
thought.
Hello.
back and Max is dying.
And Max is.
Yeah, I
Um,
swallowed some rice the wrong way.
We're talking.
Let's get this. Wait, is this the right one? Am I tapping the mic?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, listen.
Ow.
Can you guys hear that?
No.
That sucks.
Give me a sec, I'll be back in a second.
Okay. Anyway, keep going.
So basically,
enjoying my
we were doing
therapeutic bubble
jumps. Kyle was watching Indiana Jones Lego thing whilst we were doing it.
I was trying to prove a point.
Yeah, trying to prove a point.
Yeah, I was saying that, well, because at the end of the movie, the guy drinks, at the end of The Last Crusade, the guy drinks the wrong cup and dies. But in the game, he turns into some sort of zombie tornado lord. So you can fight
Is that a
him.
technical term for it?
Not a zombie tornado lord.
That's literally what he turns into.
Well, that's pretty much, yeah. Exactly. I thought that's what happened in the film, because I played the game before I saw the film. Because I only recently saw the film, and I played the game like years ago when I was a lot younger.
You recently saw the film.
Yeah, like last year, yeah.
We're going on a tangent again.
Sorry, yes.
Anyway, we do these jumps. Obviously, I do it and I nail it. And then... clearly
Like a hammer.
Yes, Luke, like a ham.
That was a terrible pun.
And then,
Please die.
Max is like, I'll give it a go. So Max gives it a go. First time he does it, he sort of goes over the jump, and his feet come off the pedals, and sort of land. How did he land the first time? It was like...
What, on the other jump?
No,
He
on
went
one.
off to the right.
Yeah.
There was another jump. Harry did it, and Harry even did it on my awful bicycle, and Max did it. Max said, "Ah, it's muddy!" and then turned off, and then sort of fell off his bike.
That
And he
was
turned to the right. It was quite funny. They tried to peer pressure me into doing it, but I resisted.
Yeah. So Max fell off in the mud, and then got a bit muddy, and then we did the other jumps. He went over it. His feet came off the pedals. He sort of landed, and just toppled off a tiny bit. And then...
He landed really hard.
Yeah, and then he's like, and then I said to him, you know, Max, the first time you do it, the second time, nail it. So then he did it a second time.
Oh no.
And he sort of went over the jump quite a bit faster than he, and he sort of went off the back of his bike, and he landed.
Well, no,
He
his
landed-
balls fell on
Yeah.
the back wheel, didn't they? So his balls
On the
got
back
destroyed. And then he made a decision, and I quote, knee pain, no, ball pain is worse than knee pain. So he came off the bike and skidded along on his knees.
And then he started running around for like about a minute, playing with balls.
And we saw
And
how
then-
like
and
bloody
then
his leg
his
was.
knee- yeah.
And then we had to take him to Luca. He turned up at Luca's. Luca, what happened when Max turned up at your door?
Max was like, "Hey Luca, have you got any like tissues or something?"
Is that
And
how
then
he exactly said
I'm
it?
like, "Oh yeah, Max is just a bit cold. He's got a runny nose." And then Max steps in the door, blood dripping down his leg, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's not his nose, is it?" And
No, that was his leg. Yeah.
and then I'm like, "Mum," and my mum was like, "Yes." I was like, do you know what the disinfectant is?" And I'm like, "Why?" I was like, You might want to come see this." And then she comes and sees it, and then she's like, "Oh, gosh," and and kind of goes to get the all the disinfectant stuff, and then she cleans Max up and makes sure that his
is
his
this,
wounds are properly cleaned
Cleans
out.
Max up. Is this a euphemism?
Yep. And then Max says, "Want to go back, guys?"
No.
I'm back. Yeah, my internet disconnected. Yeah.
So we finished telling
Yeah.
your story. Do you want to input your
Story is this?
yesterday?
Yeah, my balls still hurt. I'm not even kidding. It's not funny, guys.
Max can't
No, it's quite funny actually, because when he fell off, me and Carl started laughing immediately, and then Carl's like,
Yeah.
"Wait, Max, you okay?" Oh,
Oh, the first
know
time he
what?
fell off, he was alright. The second time he fell off, he was slightly more Max was covered in mud by the end
I
of it. It
was.
was ridiculous.
Max was covered in blood by the end of it.
Yes, I was covered in multiple fluids.
Only one of them being from you.
Thanks, Carl.
That
We should do that again sometime, though. That was fun.
Great idea, Max. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Luca didn't come out with us because his bike was broken. Luca, do you want to tell everybody how your bike got broken?
Oh,
Yeah, that was fun.
so this is one of our other biking escapades. Now, I think we should just
Escapades.
all unanimously agree that us cycling is
Is
not a
great.
very good. It's not a very good thing.
No, I
Like,
think we should
we
rephrase that
have
to
no
you or
deaths
Max. You or
yet.
Max cycling.
Well, no, Kyle, because your bike is like you could
counts.
you could
Yeah.
put
Listen,
a Barbie on it and it would be
don't-
life size.
Listen, I haven't been seriously injured riding it yet.
It is true.
What
Yeah.
Kyle hasn't seriously grown
But then
since
the
he was
reason,
7.
the reason is because I didn't do that jump yesterday. Anyway, Luca, would you like to explain how your bike got broken? I'm sure everybody's dying to know. Luca's got PTSD.
Yeah, that's not funny. So I decided. No, I didn't decide. We decided that we were going to. What do we do? Go cycling.
play it.
Yeah. So we went up
Now,
by Liam's house.
Yeah.
Now, Liam's house.
It's
There's
just
a there's a
cause
play
for a lot
park
of
there.
problems in this episode of the
Yes,
podcast.
there
Play
is.
park there. And at the time, we were recreating the film Tag.
By the way, we're
playing
15.
tag.
We're not children.
Well,
Just in case
Max
Luca
is
forgot.
15. Me and Kyle are 16 now.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Harry will be
Harry's going to
16
be 16
in like a week,
a few days.
a few days.
you remember, guys? Like I
Yeah,
told
because
you
you told me yesterday.
2 days. not
Dan,
2
Dan
days.
said
5
he'll be on in
days
the
to be
set,
precise.
by the way.
Awesome.
Which means that, well, Harry's growing up, fellas.
Okay.
Didn't need to say it like that.
Well, happy birthday, Harry, just in case there's not another
If you
episode of the podcast before your birthday.
In other words, Kyle won't be bothered
Happy
to
birthday
edit.
for 5 days' time, Harry.
Oh,
Was
I'm
it
going to
only
get this
5
done
days?
tomorrow morning.
Right, fellas, we got 5 days to plot his demise.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
No, we did Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago, Kyle. Come on.
Wait, Harry, why do you say in the general chat, I'm me?
Luca, no.
What?
Yeah, Luca, you still haven't explained. We went off on another tangent again, Luca. You still haven't explained how
Yeah,
your bike got
we're not
broken.
very good at this whole podcast thing, are we?
No, but that's the point, isn't
Not
it?
yet.
We go off on tangents.
Have a chat.
Anyway, so we are cycling. I say we. I think it's just
No, we're
me
not.
at this point who's on my bike, trying to avoid getting tagged by Liam. Until eventually Liam gets rather close, like
Needless
too close
to say,
for
it
comfort.
was just a bad idea.
Yeah, we don't do it anymore.
It's a horrible idea.
Well,
And so I
we could do it
try and
on
get on my
bikes.
bike as quick as I can. Okay.
Liam is
And
running
I
at
start
him, like,
pedaling
full speed at
down
this
the
point.
road. However, on this particular road, there is a speed hump. Now, in the unlikely event that you're not from the UK and you're not either our parents or us listening to this podcast,
What?
then you might not know what a speed hump is. Virtually,
I
it's just
think
a large bit of
everybody- Luke,
concrete.
I think everybody listening to this knows what a speed hump is.
Well, you might have American people.
Who?
American people, there's like 300 million of them. Really dumb. Um,
Well, now they're not going to be watching, are they? Definitely not now, because you just insulted them all. Good job. Take Luke.
and what was I going to say? I've forgotten now.
The speed hump.
Oh yeah, speed hump. It's just a large bit of concrete that sticks out in the road and tries to
make you
kill
go
people.
slow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I went onto this.
Bearing in mind, he's on an
Death
incline,
trap.
so he's picking up quite some speed at this point.
Well, it's a decline, not an incline, Carl.
Well, technically it's an incline.
well, it's an incline, but the way I was going down it, Kyle, it was a decline. So,
Fine.
boom, I win.
Just
I'm the
technical.
smarter one.
Well, it's
Ugh.
still an incline, isn't it? If you look at it from the other way. Well, it's still an incline either way.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going down a hill,
Yeah, right.
and I'm picking up very much speed, and
I like how I said quite some speed and Luke said very much speed. So neither of us can speak in a way that sounds normal. Harry, can you have a go, please?
Hmm?
Oh my god, okay. Can you
Okay,
say
so I-
quite some speed in a way that
By
makes
speed,
sense?
I pick up.
yes.
That's worse. Right, Luke, continue. Sorry.
So I have gained in speed and spielen, and
That was
I am
worse.
barreling down the motorway
What?
at a rate of light
The
years,
hill.
and then the one-way traffic hill that leads to a closed thing. I go over the speed bump a little fast, and I pick up something called air.
Right.
Now, if you've never experienced air before,
Max
you
has.
breathe it.
Max experienced it yesterday. His balls experienced it quite a lot.
Oh no. Um, y-
Oh shit!
I-
need to write down.
in a word,
Yum.
I landed not very nicely, and I may or may not have fallen onto my side, and because we're going down a hill, scraped along the side of the road for about 4 meters. I bent my bike in a few places. I completely messed up my gears and my brakes and other parts that I don't even know the name. The handlebars were like the wrong way round and that. And my mother had to come and pick me up, and I was bleeding everywhere. And then I was in like a thingy, like a cast thing for a few days. And then they put like this weird gel on me to try and like demudify me and degermify me. And it really stung. And I nearly cried, but I didn't because I'm a brave boy.
So your mummy told you.
Yeah. She gave me a lollipop. It was good. The wait to get seen by the doctor was like 2.5 hours, and I didn't like it.
Jesus.
It was genuinely ridiculous. Like there was these patients coming in with like missing limbs, but I'm here bleeding onto the ground still, because nobody's bothered to even give me like a damn tissue. Like I understand that these patients need to be seen first, but it's a diagnosis. I'm pretty sure if a man's missing an arm, the diagnosis is that he's missing an arm. I think that's a very visual clue there. Whether I had fractured my wrist or not, I still have the scar actually. I still
Yeah.
have 2 scars. Do I have a scar on my hip? I've never checked.
No, he's
Are
never
you
seen
checking
his
now?
hip. He hasn't seen his hip in years.
Oh no, I actually do have kind of a scar. It's
Hello,
not too much.
Dan. How's it going?
There's a few little white
Great.
dots.
I don't know why I said it like that.
Oh my goodness, Dan's here!
Luke is just talking about... Ow. Luke is talking about how he
That's
seriously
horrible.
injured himself. Also, Max is here, by the way.
Hey Dan.
I'm at.
Yeah.
Right,
I thought
sorry,
for a second
Luke,
Dan was just going to go
Luke,
like, oh, God,
were you
and then-
scarred on your hip? Luke was just talking about how he broke his bike and nearly died.
Oh, yeah, that
Um,
was
Oh,
fun.
you cracked down the side of your helmet, didn't you?
yeah, I cracked my helmet in 2. If I wasn't
my-
wearing my helmet,
Jesus.
You
I
would
would be
definitely be
dead.
dead. I wasn't wearing a helmet then, so if that was me, I would
That's
definitely be
ridiculous.
dead.
Cracked my helmet loads of times. It's not no biggie.
No biggie.
The corporal from my air cadets, Kate, was there. So he came along, he was like, oh yeah, he sorted you out and stuff. And we were all like, they're like, oh God, what's happened to Luca? Will he, will he be okay? Just standing there staring at him while he slowly
you
bleeds
guys
out.
were you're even more help than you are in like casual, where you just like leave me to bleed out onto the floor. Your bad siege
That's
team
also ranked.
Should,
Glad I
um,
missed
Um,
it, to be honest.
and unranked and just
Any
custom
game.
Oh, we
games.
need to record whenever we go out somewhere because most of it's just comedy gold.
You know what,
Especially when people get hurt. Like
I need
just-
to talk about how I injured myself actually in summer holiday. So we went to Bournemouth Beach for the
go,
whole
Bridget.
day. was a good day actually. It was really nice. We went out on the beach. My dad buried me. in the
Oh, sounds
sand.
great.
I didn't die.
What did you...
Don't worry.
Oh no,
So
we
we
weren't.
dug a
well,
massive
we were,
hole in the sand, and I got buried. And I actually couldn't move. It was kind of
we were
scary.
near rejoicing, Kyle.
But it turns out I was actually okay, and my dad didn't try to kill me. But yeah. So so after he dug me up, we sort of chilled out for like the rest of the day, and then we and then on the way back up, right, so all the cars are parked along a road on a hill, right, and there's so there was a road going up this hill, and there was a very steep like hill, so it's like at the bottom of this valley sort of. There was a very steep hill on either side, right? And I'd gone up the hill on the right side, so this was like a very steep hill. So I'd gone up it, and my dad said, "You've got no." Before I went up it, my dad said, "You've got 1 minute to get up and down." And I was like, "Well, that's quite difficult, isn't it?" And so he was obviously joking. So I ran up the hill, and then I start coming down, and obviously, because this is quite a steep hill, I pick up a lot of speed. And at this point, I'm slightly concerned because I've got to keep going because either I stop and basically roll down and hit about 40 things and seriously injure myself, or I keep running and I'm gonna have to somehow keep going on the road after I get down. I have to get to the bottom. The only way I was gonna survive that with no injury was getting to the bottom, and it was quite a big hill, so that was unlikely. Anyway, so I'm halfway down, and then a tree appears in my face. And I remember, like a split second, as I don't know how I didn't see it coming. I think I was kind of just busy thinking about how to get out of this situation. But it's just a tree in my face, and at that moment, as the tree was directly in front of my eyes, I kind of thought, "Oh, cock, this is going to ruin the whole day." Those are literally my final thoughts before smack straight into a tree, lying on the ground in pain. So basically what had happened is I'd basically blown apart my lip pretty much. Apparently my lip was the first thing to make impact with the tree. And my dad had thought that my brace had gone into my lip. So we went to A&E. So we spent like an hour in the car and had gone to A&E. And as I got out the car, I was in so much pain because I'd hit my knee obviously on the tree, and it had like swelled a bit while I was in the car, so I couldn't really move my knee. So it was unfathomable. Okay, I can't even speak English. Unfathomably painful. I was just about to say I didn't have a concussion, but that remains to be seen. But it was ridiculously painful. We went in. We waited 4 hours in A&E. Halfway through, found out that I actually didn't have a brace in my lip, so we probably could have gone without A&E. Anyway, we go in. She checks me for a concussion. I don't have a concussion, thank God. My knee's fine. I haven't broken anything in my knee, and my lip needs a stitch. And so what this woman does is, rather than putting in a dissolvable stitch, she puts in a proper stitch that needs to get removed. So a week or so later, I have to get it taken out, and they can't get the second one out because it's kind of stuck in. And then like we're gonna have to come back another day, and we're gonna have to like no, because she would have damaged my lip. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh well, there's no harm in that.
But so
there's nothing really that can be salvaged
I'm just
at the
sort
moment.
of like
really.
tugging it like you do. I was kind of feeling it up on my face, and I pulled it out myself. And I was like, oh, that's fine. So now I basically have a scar on my lip because that woman put a non-dissolvable stitch in.
No, Kyle, you have a scar on your lip because you were an idiot and decided
Well,
that
yeah,
you knew better than a
also.
trained nurse.
I love how you
Because what do you
go.
mean? I didn't. No, that's not why I had the scar on my lip. I already had the scar before I pulled the thing out. But I'm saying because she put those stitches in, that's why I had the scar, because it grew.
I was going to say when I had 3 sets of teeth. Okay,
Are you sure?
One, two. What? How?
I love how you go to A&E, and just because you ran into a tree, like someone's there who's like
Yeah,
broken their leg or something. You're like,
Well, no,
oh,
because my
first ran
dad
into a
thought there
tree.
was a brace in my lips, so he took me to.
Luke can come back now. I just had to get him out
A&E.
so I could say that.
He had 3 sets of
He's
teeth.
still talking.
What? Oh, is Carl still talking?
No, you
That is amazing.
weren't in the.
How he'd moved you to a different channel and you kept
Oh.
talking.
Stop talking.
Can I explain my
You can go
story?
on.
Yeah,
Go on.
please go again. We
What
got
was the
to,
last thing you
I
heard?
had 3 sets of teeth.
Oh, right. Okay, so
He
I
moved
had
you.
my adult set.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, carry on.
So, do you keep moving me?
No.
Please start again because he moved you. Again.
Okay, so to start, I was born and I grew my baby teeth.
You were
Okay.
bored. I'm
Yes.
surprised.
And eventually those fell out, and my quote-unquote adult teeth
That is what
sort
tends
of
to happen.
fell
Most
fell down from my mouth
Are you a
into
shark or
place.
something?
It
That's what
literally
I
is
said.
called shark tooth syndrome
Ah.
because you have, and some people have like 7 sets of teeth. It's weird.
Like a shark. Anyway.
I fortunately did not have the whole set, but I had a few on the bottom and a few on the top. And basically, what happened is, in quite a lengthy surgery, I was put under general anaesthetic, so knocked out completely, like boom.
I've never been under general anaesthetic. I don't want to.
By shark tooth syndrome, do you
I've been
mean
under-
Charcot-Marie tooth disease?
Yeah, whatever that is. Right.
How is Charcot spelled, Max?
Charcot.
Oh, no, it's like the French spelling.
Wait,
Shackle.
H-I-C-K-E-N.
wait,
Shark syndrome. Nice, okay. Right,
Carl,
sorry.
You said you didn't
Somebody
want
just
Carl,
spell out Sharek.
You what, Hank?
Carl, you said you didn't
No,
want
it's about a chicken.
Oh no, it's not that. It's not that.
Yeah, Harry?
You said you didn't want to put on general anaesthetic, yeah?
Yeah.
Would you rather be like in an open body like surgery or being awake, being under?
Well, no, but I mean, ideally, I don't want to be in the situation where I have to get open body surgery. But
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
if I can help it, I don't want to be. I've been under local anaesthetic, obviously, for
Yeah.
like tooth removal. That was not pleasant.
But yeah, that's
Anyway.
not right.
Can I get back to my surgery? Don't remove me from this part.
Sorry, you mean get back to it. You mean get back to your story.
we have
about
to?
surgery.
Is it mandatory?
Anyway, yeah.
Can we just
continue.
skip over this bit?
Is there a fast forward
No,
button?
but I'll do that after.
Is there a too bothered to listen to Luca option? Just skip right to the
Oh,
end.
wow.
There is,
you know,
but it's
you know
for the
what? You
people
know what? Then
listening to
don't
this
don't
after.
listen to me.
We're
Okay.
joking.
Alright,
Come on.
Oh
let's
no,
go.
Luca, we want to hear your story.
No, it's not. It's fine. It's
Tell us
fine.
about your 3 sets
No,
of
no,
teeth.
no, no, come on, Luke. I want to hear it. I want to hear what happened. So you got
Um,
they put you under general anaesthetic.
Yes. Which was fun. You know, I said some weird things.
You always do.
Yeah.
I'm
You under general anaesthetic.
Isn't that
every
just
time you do
normal,
it all night.
Luca?
yeah.
What's Luca like on general anaesthetic?
Oh, dear God.
Oh god.
Well, I didn't know because I was asleep. And I haven't really asked anybody. And it was like 7 years ago, so I doubt it would be like. It'd be 9 years ago, yeah. And anyway,
Sorry.
Tell the story. Come on.
See, now I've lost my place, Harry. God
Keep
damn
going.
it.
Right, start again from your birth, then go on.
Okay, so I was born on.
Oh god.
Right. So we did the surgery. It was fine, but I had like I think it was 70 odd stitches holding these new teeth in place as because they ripped all of the teeth out and then they pulled down from my gum. They opened up my gum and pulled the remaining teeth down. Did you remove me again?
Oh no, I
No,
can't
no,
message.
No, you wouldn't be able to
Screw
do it, so
you,
you wouldn't
Harry.
do it again.
What
Keep
do you
going.
mean?
And
I don't have
Um,
permission to message.
You do. This can't change.
Anyway, Anyway.
Listen.
so
Uh,
I don't even know it.
Send me on that chat.
Is there a conclusion to your story, or
Yeah, I
I'm
have
still
nice teeth
confused.
now.
How's he got
Right,
three
right.
sets of teeth?
I don't know.
special syndrome?
Well,
Shark tooth syndrome.
find out.
Sorry, yes, Luke, keep going. Apologies for
That's
people
the
being
end of my story.
rude.
I have nice teeth now.
wait.
Since
I can't. I got lost there. Wait, can you start from the beginning, please?
Okay, so I was born.
Okay, let's
on-
just go quickly. Go quickly.
That's good. Story, Luca. You were born right. Let's just leave it at that.
let's have another story, shall we?
No, wait, is he still talking?
Blah 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 blah. blah.
Stop moving him.
Oh, I'm
Right,
done
that
now.
was that was
that's-
good. Yeah.
No.
Oh,
what
nice,
have you
okay.
done?
I've got another story.
Yeah.
Pretty sure this is
Remember when,
cyberbullying.
You guys buried me in snow, and I almost.
Oh, yeah, Harry was
Yeah.
talking to me about that the other day.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That
Didn't
fun.
you
You-
say
you looked
felt
cold,
your
man.
blood go cold?
Well, yeah, no, yeah. I just said to Kyle, I could feel like the blood go away from my hands, yeah, and then because it all goes to your heart, and then after that, I started to feel the cold blood around my heart, and that's such a weird feeling.
Oh.
We'll
I
have
don't
to
think-
try it
I don't
next time
think
it
you were
snows.
okay.
The cold blood just rushed back to my hands, and that was a weird feeling as well. Yeah, not a nice feeling. Surprisingly.
Wow,
That
that's
was
an interesting
uncomfortable.
story.
That was
Okay.
good. Yeah. Next time it's
Back to my teeth. No, I'm joking.
Right.
What now?
Dan, have you had any life-threatening experiences or experiences in
Oh yeah,
McDonald's?
in year 7 when I first joined, it was like the 3rd day I think. And you know where I was eating lunch and then suddenly this guy came up and he was really scary and really terrifying.
Was
looking.
it Luca?
It was.
Was it actually?
Is that actually?
No, I'm joking. I didn't have a story. I've never really had anything life-threatening.
What about
I'm just
any
too
funny
good.
experiences in McDonald's? That's what we were talking about earlier.
Actually, I did trip over a lunchbox and sprain my ankle.
Oh.
What in
That-
McDonald's?
that-
That's
No.
It's a lunchbox into McDonald's.
no, it was at a Beavers water fight thing. And I ran back and I tripped over a lunchbox and sprained my ankle.
No, Dan says that if I eat there and someone the toilet and someone was stuck in the toilet with no toilet paper, he's like, and then that was funny.
Dan was in the toilet and then he heard somebody go. They heard some people come in and go.
There's no toilet
Harry?
in the toilet.
And then Harry go, I don't have any toilet paper.
There's no toilets in the toilet.
There's no toilet in the men's toilet. That was
Imagine if you
classic.
just walk in there though and somebody's nicked the toilet.
I'm pretty sure it's
Unscrews
happened
it, just
before.
walks out.
People
Carry
steal
it
a load
along.
of weird crap though, don't they? Like I said last episode about them stealing my locker lock mechanism. People just steal stuff like toilet lids and stuff for no reason. Madonna does it. She I think she does. I don't know if it's
Oh,
fake
I've
news.
got-
You're not
but
allowed to say if she does or not.
She removes the toilet
got-
lids from every toilet she uses, so people can't sell them on eBay.
What?
I've got
Yep.
a continuation from last week's.
Why
What?
did Harry just turn northern? I've got a continuation
Where's Max gone?
I've got a continuation, man.
So,
from last week.
not from last
Where's-
week, yeah.
Where's Max
Um,
gone?
Basic, I don't know, he went somewhere.
Basically.
Basically, you know the
Basically.
we've named the mystery man from my school.
You found him.
The shitty bandit.
Oh yeah!
The wet bandit.
It's the Phantom Shitter.
Oh, who
man.
did it?
No, I
named
didn't.
him already. I
Big
coined
shit.
the Phantom Shitter.
He struck again.
Wait, oh no. The Phantom Shitter struck again.
Would you
I
like
think that
to
sounds
throw some
better
context
than
in here
the
for
Shitty
the
Bandit struck again.
No, they
No,
should
they've heard.
watch
If
last
they've watched the
episode.
last episode of the podcast, they know.
Oh yeah, that's good
Let's go
marketing.
keep
Well,
shitting on
guess
the
where
floor
it
at Harry's
was,
school.
Kyle. We can all guess where it was.
What was
Center
it?
of the hall.
Gym. Middle of a gym.
Nope.
Where, Harry?
In a locker.
No.
Oh.
No. Was it somebody? Somebody else's
Your
locker?
school is messed up.
That would just that would be awful, wouldn't it? Just like I'm just gonna put my bag in. There's a shit in my locker.
Sir, why is it all wet?
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what?
That was nice.
Somebody he did it. What? Nobody did.
No one
Has it
knows.
been removed?
But they're putting security cameras in from then. They can.
Yeah,
know who
they've
does
got
it.
to. 'Cause
Who comes up with
the
those
phantom
ideas?
shitter
Yeah.
needs to be
know.
caught.
It's
Please
the
let us know when he's caught, Harry.
Yeah.
I must know.
I don't understand.
What I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, he's gonna have one final grand shit. That's just gonna blow all the other ones away. It's gonna be
I've
like
no
the
idea
shit
where it would
heist.
go though.
I imagine in the middle of the I assume you have a hall or something.
Yeah.
I imagine it in the middle of the hall.
That's what I said.
Just before assembly, and then everybody walks in, and there's some glorious shit in the middle of the floor.
It's a massive snake going all the way around the hall.
Oh no!
Oh.
Oh, that is
Is
disgusting.
it bad that I kind of genuinely would like to see that?
No, I mean yes, that is awful.
Yeah.
Why?
I wouldn't like to smell it, but I'd like to just see.
Everyone gets
like, it's
together
real.
to make a massive snake.
Well, it is real, isn't it? Of course, it's real.
Yeah, but it's like-
person do that.
It's like a tangible object, but it's so long.
Bye bye, Luca.
Yeah, but-
I know it's quite impressive, isn't it?
yeah, like I'd want to congratulate them. Like, wow, you must have saved up for ages for that one.
That's cool.
Oh, Max is back now on his phone.
So
Where
he
did you go?
His laptop died.
Oi, oi, Max.
Hello.
Hey, Max.
Sorry, I
Where'd
had
you
to
go?
leave. I'm on my phone now, but
I know.
yeah, I can probably tell by the
But-
quality.
But yeah.
It sounds better
Yeah.
than it did before.
All right. Let's see if I have anything left in my podcast talking
All right.
list.
I was just saying I had to dip if you didn't hear me before, because I don't think my mic
we
was
didn't.
working.
I have to dip.
Right, bye, Max.
All right,
Okay.
bye
Oh
bye.
yeah, no. I found out I was eating nuts for like years.
You said this on the
Apparently, yeah, I know. No, I didn't. I said this yesterday. Apparently, I used to get chicken korma all the time, and apparently chicken korma has almonds in it.
I like chicken korma as well. My parents
Apparently
say
it
it's
has
the
almonds in
blandest curry anyone can ever have.
It's the best. If you get it
But
from
I
the
like
place
it.
that I used to get
It
it
just tastes-
before they changed the recipe, it was bloody good. But I'm not one for spice. I'm not very good with spice,
Exactly.
and it's
I feel like too
mild
much
curry
spice
is
just
good.
ruin-
Oh my god, the one
Because
I
it's
used to get was
difficulty.
amazing, and then I used to have a sandwich the next day, and it was genuinely sexy. And then they changed the recipe in the place that I used to.
Oh, I
get it
hate when
from.
they do that.
And well, yeah, it kills people. Kills people with allergies. Luckily, it didn't kill me. It just tasted like regular like Sainsbury's or whatever chicken korma. So they ruined it. It used to be the most amazing thing ever, and it was a food to rival even bacon. It was
Wow.
sexy. That's how good it was. If you dipped naan bread in the sauce, it was.
Kyle
I'm
had
literally
a
having a
physical-
foodgasm from the memory of it. It's like my old ex-lover that has left the country. That's what that chicken korma is.
Kyle,
Get it
have you
back.
got some emotional instability that you'd like to talk
About my
about your
About-
ex
about
about
my
your
chicken
ex-lover,
yeah
No.
chicken korma.
about your ex-lover that left the country?
Yeah, what chicken korma?
Oh, was it
It was
deported?
a metaphor. I'm saying that it's like an ex-lover that I wanted to get back together.
I'm very
with, but
glad
she
nobody
left,
heard that.
She left the country, or she died.
No, I heard that, Luca. You said, "Is it Mexican?" We all
No,
heard it.
I said, did it get deported?
Oh.
Oh, I thought you said something about
Thanks for
Mexicans.
that.
I heard that did it get deported, but I
Are there
thought
any
you said
really
something about
good
Mexicans.
foods that you guys can't have anymore? For whatever reason. I can't have Snickers anymore because I'm
Can you
not allowed
not?
it.
Well, that's a bit obvious, isn't it?
It's got peanuts in it. Well, I used to. I
Because
used
they
to.
got nuts in.
I should be able to eat it, but I'm not allowed to. So.
Did you know because of the coronavirus that a lot of people are choosing not to eat Chinese? Like, there is no correlation
It
between the
doesn't come
coronavirus.
from China.
Exactly.
It's just cooked in the Chinese way.
Oh, that
As long as you
reminds
don't
me.
eat
My
bats,
sister's
you'll be
trip to
fine.
China was officially cancelled a few days ago. So
I'm not surprised, to be
So
fair.
you just had a China trip. That's not going to happen, is it?
No. Go
the
ahead.
third or fourth time that my knee dislocated. Okay.
Oh dear, where's this guy?
I was it was tug of war. It was the worst time that it's the most painful that's ever been. Okay, thank goodness I was on a scout camp, so there was just happened to be a trained paramedic there. So, I'm sat there dying in pain as I usually am, and
Oh, yeah, is this where you got high?
yeah.
That sounds bad. Let Luca explain.
Yeah. And the only pain reducer that they have, the only pain, whatever you call it, pain relief that they have is this. I don't really know what it was. It was.
A bong.
It's gas and air,
Gas
which
and air,
is
yeah.
nitrous oxide. Now, for
There
those
is
of you
gas,
who
actually.
aren't educated or who are just dumb, I mean, you're watching the Three Sugars Please podcast. There's something not right with you.
Actually, it's 6 sugars, please. Dan, would you be up for doing a 6 sugars, please podcast every month?
6 sugars, please. Is that with everyone?
Yes. Well, this was meant to be with everybody, but Scott didn't show. So.
Oh,
It depends how annoying Luca is.
quite.
Sorry. Yeah. Continue about how you got drugged. He gave you instructions and you ignored them. Well, no.
Oh
you
yeah, the paramedic gave me.
misinterpreted his instructions.
Yeah, the paramedic was like, okay, so you're supposed to like take one breath of this every 3 breaths of normal air. However, me not listening because I'm in excruciating pain just starts sucking on that like it's gas and air. Anyway, so yeah, things are not good. I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm just literally.
Getting high.
Yeah. I had to stop because
As a guide man.
I was so high. My eyeballs felt like they vibrated. Literally, I was like, Mum, my eyeballs are vibrating.
Oh, I could totally believe that. I was
Yeah. It's weird that I can imagine Luca doing that.
there. Yeah,
And-
Mum, my eyeballs are vibrating. Whoa.
And yeah, 10 out of 10 would not recommend again. No, would not give her like a
Listen
good
to their
score on
instructions
Google.
next time as a piece of advice for anyone.
It's quite scary actually. I was really scared. Like, what the hell is happening to
and
my
high at the
eyes?
same time.
Yeah.
Scared because you were so high.
Yeah. It definitely was.
You have a bad trip.
Yes, I did. But you know what? I'm still alive, so that's a bad thing.
I remember the first time I got, that thing they call dead man's pinch, where you like get a blood blister on your finger, or whatever. I genuinely had a panic attack the first time I had that because it was on a scout camp, right? I was quite young, so I had no idea what it was because I'd like dropped a pole down, when the poles slide inside each other, and I'd had my finger on like.
You were building a
bit,
patrol
and
tent.
it slid in and caught my finger in, and I got a blood blister, and I was like, what does this mean? Am I going to die? What's going on? And so for like the whole rest of that day, I was quite concerned about the state of my health and if I was going to die or not. And then I sort of just forgot about it for the next few days, and then when I got home, I was like, oh yeah, by the way, Mum, I got a blood blister, and she was like, oh yeah, that's well, it's gone now, isn't it? And I was like, well, yeah. It kind of overreacted a bit, but that's what I don't know if that's what everybody
They don't
does.
call you
or just
Kyle
me.
overreacting, Mace, for nothing.
Actually, they call me Kyle Style Mace. I think we had this conversation earlier.
Oh yeah, play the clip.
What we can,
This is-
you can't play a clip from inside the podcast.
It's already in the podcast.
Oh, is it?
Exactly.
It's the same podcast.
Oh,
That
is it?
was literally half an hour ago. Are you high right now? Yes.
Well, guys, thanks for watching. 3 sugars, please.
Well, actually, technically 6 sugars, please, I'm going to say. More like 4 sugars, please. And then we swapped that Dan for Max. I'm sorry you missed the bulk of the podcast, Dan. Shame.
Oh, what a shame. I'm
Fear not.
sure I'll watch this amazing content later.
But fear not, I'm sure. Well, next time we'll have ideally everybody for the next 6 sugars, please. Or maybe we'll have
that'd
him
be
in
fun.
for 3 sugars, please. if
So,
you can.
guys, thank you very
yeah.
much for coming and
for
listening
watching.
to us ramble about
Listening.
McDonald's and
Slash
other
watching.
bits. And yeah, we're gonna now
Listen,
go and cry.
If you want to listen to this on Spotify, you can't because it costs money now. So soz,
Bye.
sozzle. Thanks for
And
watching,
it'll-
everybody, and we'll see you next episode. Bye bye.
Nice.